The normal Winnipeg temperature on the 24th of November is about -4 degrees. Let's not kid anybody today. It is cold in Winnipeg. The temperature is -18 degrees Celsius. It is substantially below normal. But the Calgary Stampeders and Toronto Argonauts all week have said they are not concerned about the weather. Let's just get on with the game. And the Rocket awaits the opening kickoff. You heard in the coin toss, the Calgary Stampeders deferred. They won the toss, and both coaches said yesterday that if they won the toss, they would defer their choice to the second half. They want to see what wind conditions are like in the second half, and the Calgary Stampeders will have that advantage. The 79th Grey Cup game is underway with Darrell K. Smith on the return, and he fights his way out to the 37-yard line. That's where they will scrimmage 1st and 10. David Sapunjas made the tackle. Matt Dunnigan, the starting quarterback for the Argos.
Well, Matt Dunnigan would dearly love to have a Grey Cup championship. That's the one thing that's eluded him so far. It's going to be a big test this first drive to see how well Matt can gain the confidence not only of himself, but for his teammates.
1st and 10, the ball at the 37. Dunnigan would like a repeat of his first half performance in the Eastern Final last week against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Dunnigan, pursued by Laird, gets the pass away, and it was almost intercepted over on the far side of the field by Tucker. It was intended for Masati, but he had tremendous pressure from Stu Laird.
Well, there was some rumors that Matt Dunnigan was getting practice in the dormitory or in the hotel. Hey, he's worried about his pass protection right now, but he wants to get the ball to Clements, and he's going to find Darrell K. Smith open in those seam routes.
When he played the Calgary Stampeders on September 15th in a 33-24 Calgary victory, Dunnigan only lasted 6 plays before he suffered that broken collarbone when decked by Will Johnson. Dunnigan looks deep. Going for David Williams, it's incomplete. He was being covered by Junior Thurman. So it's 2 and out for the Toronto Argonauts. Danny Barrett directs the attack for the Stampeders.
What Danny Barrett would like to do right away to get off to a good start, he wants to get the ball in the hands of those speed people. He doesn't know how long that sun's going to stay up. It's a fast track right now. The field is perfect.
And they start with the 6-pack. They have 3 receivers over to the left side. Now they swing 2 of the 5 that had initially gone there over to the right. Barrett throwing to his right. It's intercepted by Ed Barry. Barry down the sidelines. Touchdown. A 52-yard interception return for a touchdown by Ed Barry. So the Toronto Argonauts, unable to move the football offensively, use their defense to put 6 on the board. In 1971, when the Argos lost, their only touchdown scored by an interception, a fumble recovery, and the Argos have it again. Keith Costello recovers the kickoff, and the Calgary Stampeders find themselves in a hole early in this football game. Carl Bland unable to hold the football. Kevin Smelly stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Don, the LA Kings entourage and ownership of the Argonauts out here in full force today. Here is one of the most recognizable faces in Canada underneath all this clothing and this toque. Wayne Gretzky, is there enough clothing in Los Angeles to dress the ordeal like this?
Yeah, I'm pretty cold, and I told all my friends that we brought up that they've never seen cold like this, and they didn't believe me, and now I think they believe me.
Okay, we'll talk to you hopefully again during the course of the game. Don?
Dunnigan's pass intended for Masati, incomplete. That may have been something of a test for the injured collarbone of Matt Dunnigan as well, as he went down heavily. Lance Schommick with the field goal attempt. It is wide. And Greg Peterson in the end zone is going to concede a single point for an 8-0 Toronto lead. 1st and 10 Calgary. They are at their own 35. Barrett looking for Pitts, and that ball deflected and was almost intercepted again by Ed Barry. The Toronto Argonaut defensive unit has played exceptionally well. Danny Barrett is in trouble, and he's cut from behind by Brian Warren, and the Calgary Stampeders will be forced to kick it away. First and 10. The ball is at the 40-yard line. Matt Dunnigan, the surprise starter for the Toronto Argonauts all week. Doubts grew as to whether Dunnigan would even dress for the game. Never mind start. The screen to Kevin Smelly. He will pick up about 7, maybe 8 yards before being stopped by Will Johnson. Smith and the Rocket line up wide to the right. Toronto leading by a score of 8-0. Kevin Smelly trying to get that first down. I think he's short. I don't think he got to the 50-yard line, and he had to hit the 50 to pick up the first down. And Dunnigan is gambling on third down. He keeps, and Dunnigan gets the first down, close to midfield. First and 10 Toronto. The Argos lead by a score of 8-0. Dunnigan throwing deep over the middle for Masadi, incomplete.
Masadi had a shot.
Second and 10 Toronto from the midfield stripe. Dunnigan throwing deep down the sidelines, and he overthrows Darrell K. Smith. Hank Olisic stands at the 40-yard line for this third down punt. Good kick. Pee Wee Smith dodges a couple of tackles, trying to get to the outside. And Hank Olisic takes them out of bounds up at the 33-yard line. Pass over the middle to Sapunjas, and Sapunjas is close to a first down up at the 44-yard line. 4 receivers wide to the right. Barrett getting pretty good protection, throws to Kevin Simeon, and he'll have a gain of about 9 yards. Second and about 1. Again, out of that 6-back formation, Danny Barrett trying to keep. It doesn't appear as though his forward progress got him a first down, as he was stacked up by Rodney Harding and then pushed back. Third down, the Stamps keep, and this time there's no doubt as Danny Barrett drives straight ahead and picks up a first down. 20 wins, 13 losses. This time pressure as Danny Barrett goes down, a loss of about 3 yards. From the shotgun formation, Danny Barrett finds his receiver open, and Pee Wee Smith on the sidelines gets away from Jim Rockford, but apparently Rockford got a piece of him, forcing him out of bounds at the 33-yard line. 23 yards the gain on the pass to Pee Wee Smith, who was the hero late in the game in the Western Final against the Edmonton Eskimos. Pass intended for Sean Beals, incomplete, while the Argos have 5 imports on offense, 9 on defense. Barrett throwing deep into the end zone, penalty flag on the play. Not much doubt about that, so it's an automatic first down at the 1-yard line. They trail by a score of 8-0. The handoff to Keevan Jenkins. He won't get there. Second and goal from the 1-yard line. Barrett keeps. Touchdown. They cannot deny Danny Barrett the touchdown, as he went straight ahead to cross the goal line to break the plane and put the Calgary Stampeders on the board. Mark McLaughlin, who grew up in Winnipeg, preparing to kick off for the Stampeders. The Rocket on the kickoff return. Spins off a couple of hits and fights his way out to the 42-yard line, where Toronto will scrimmage first and 10. 8-7, Toronto leading Calgary in this 79th edition of the Grey Cup game. There's that pump fake. Dunnigan keeps, gets the first down, running to the 50-yard line. For a portion of this opening quarter, the official scoreboard clock was not functioning. Dunnigan is decked, and Kent Warnock came in to make the sack for a big loss back to the Toronto 53. Second and 17. Dunnigan trying to throw, and that's pretty difficult when a guy like Kent Warnock has his arms wrapped around you and the ball falls harmlessly to the turf. Errol Tucker and Pee Wee Smith are back for the third down punt by Hank Olisic. Another pretty good kick by Olisic. Pee Wee Smith lets it bounce, takes the ball at the 17-yard line. Penalty flag in the play as Smith is down at the 27, a run back of 10 yards. It's a first down from the 26-yard line. Pee-wee Smith takes the ball down the sidelines for a first down, forced out by Carl Graisley. People probably wonder what his given name is. It's Demetrius, not Pee-wee. Zapunjas takes the pass over the middle to the 50-yard line. No huddle offense. The pass complete to Sean Beals, and this is a Calgary first down. David Bevell was in on the stop on Beals, but not before he picked up a first down to the 52. Pass is knocked down right at the line of scrimmage by Mike Campbell. And that is also the final play of the opening quarter here at Winnipeg Stadium. It's 8-7. Toronto leads Calgary.
Canada Deposit Insurance Corporation is a federal agency that protects your money when you deposit it with any of our member institutions. Look for our logo, however you bank. CDIC, see how we protect your money.
Welcome back to Winnipeg Stadium and the 79th Grey Cup game as we start the second quarter. Calgary 2nd and 10. The Stamps trailing by a point. Sideline pattern. And the catch is good. Carl Bland making the reception for a Calgary first down. 1st and 10. The ball just shy of the 40-yard line. Handoff. Keevan Jenkins, and Jenkins runs his way to the 35. Second down pass should be good for a first down as he found Carl Bland again on the sidelines. Two receivers to either side of the field. Barrett rolls right. He's under pressure. Gets away. And as he tries to cut back, he's stopped by Mike Campbell. 12:36 remaining in the second quarter. Toronto leading by a score of 8-7. Barrett's pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. Donnie Moan got a hand on it, and he knocked it down before it could get anywhere near the intended receiver, Carl Bland. Mark McLaughlin with a 37-yard field goal attempt. If successful, the Stampeders will take the lead for the first time, which they do. I would think they're also having some difficulties keeping their feet warm, and as the game progresses, that may become even a bigger concern. Well, the Rocket got his feet going and brought the football back to the 50-yard line, a 30-yard run back off that kickoff. It will be 1st and 10 Toronto from the 50-yard line. This is Toronto's version of the six-pack, and the pass is complete. And the Rocket made a couple of people miss, but he'll be stopped short of a first down by linebacker Matt Finlay. Ball is at the Calgary 52-yard line. Kevin Smelly gets the first down to the 45. A long electrical cord to satisfy the 52,000 who are here. A hitch screen to David Williams. Williams is caught on a good defensive effort by Errol Tucker, who got in behind the attempted block. 2nd and 12, Toronto. The toss to the pinball, and the Calgary defense is swarming right now as they are all over Mike Pinball Clemens, dropping him for a further loss. We mentioned Hank Olisic playing in his 9th Grey Cup game. Tommy Grant, John Barrow, Angela Mosca of Hamilton, Dave Cutler, and Larry Highbaugh of Edmonton are the others who have played in 9 Grey Cup games. Errol Tucker on the punt return, throwing down out of bounds inside his own 10-yard line. And it appears she has. Zapunjas gets to the outside. He gets a first down, Calgary. 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. The toss to Keevan Jenkins. And Darryl Ford from his linebacking position goes across the field and limits the gain to about 2, maybe 3 yards. Ollie Bono said, we can't worry about the Toronto Argonauts, whether Dunnigan is going to play, whether Pinball is going to play. He said, all we can do is prepare ourselves. We can't worry about anything they might do. The ball is loose as Barrett fumbles. It's still loose, picked up by the Argos, but I believe the whistle had gone. Darryl Ford, the linebacker, found a path to the quarterback. Danny Barrett lost control of the football, but the Calgary quarterback was able to get it back. Jerry Corrick kicking from the end zone. It's a short kick, Picked up on the dead run, and this will draw a penalty flag. Pinball Clemens came flying up and alertly grabbed the football at the 25-yard line.
Have you ever played in any weather quite as freezing as these temperatures today?
No, these guys are crazy, but there's a lot of warm hearts here in Winnipeg. We're having a great time.
Lanny, thanks very much for your time. Enjoy the game. Back to you, Don.
Well, Lanny MacDonald is enjoying the fact, as are all Calgarians, that the Stampeders at the moment are out in front, but the Argos are trying to change that. Matt Dunnigan for Darrell K. Smith. He got away from Carl Anthony, but is wrapped up by Matt Finlay. A gain of close to 7 yards. It's 2nd and 3. Williams lined up to the right side. Kevin Smelly, the lone back behind Dunnigan, gets the ball and is driven back.
Well, that's the second time on long yardage situations or semi-long yardage situations, over 4 yards to go, that they've gone with the running game. That's interesting. I wonder if that's Matt Dunnigan's arm. I wonder if he feels a bit hampered in his ability to throw.
Paul Massotti will hold. This time the kick is good as the Argos regain their 1-point lead with 6:09 remaining in the half. Right now, it would seem that a candidate for that new truck might be on the defensive side of the field. David Sapunjas makes the catch close to a first down up to the 45-yard line. Larry Rickman, the owner of the Calgary Stampeders, and what a year this would be for Calgary if they should go on to win the Grey Cup. With the problems they had early in the season, there were financial concerns. Rickman came in to purchase the team and now could win a Grey Cup just weeks after becoming financially involved officially. Beals on a 5-yard pass completion, 2nd and 5. Sideline pattern intended for Simeon, incomplete. Low snap to Corrick. He has to run away to try and avoid pressure, and he kicks the ball out of bounds. A bad kick as it goes up into the stands, and the Toronto Argonauts will get the ball back in great field position. 1st and 10. The pass complete to David Williams. He has a gain of about 8 yards. That last kick by Jerry Corrick only traveled 5 yards. Dunnigan lost the football. It's still loose, recovered by Finlay. It didn't appear as though Matt Dunnigan ever had control of the football, and Matt Finlay came flying in to pick it up. And now the Stampeders take over, 1st and 10 at the 52 of Toronto. Pass is complete to Beals. He breaks a couple of tackles and gets a first down at the 40 of the Argos. A hot air balloon floats in the sky near Winnipeg Stadium, and many of the spectators in attendance wish some of that hot air could be focused on them and directed their way under these -16-degree temperatures. It is a cool afternoon. Simeon on the sidelines, unable to make the reception. 2nd and 10. The ball is at the 40-yard line. Toronto leads Calgary 11-10. Barrett is hauled down. Mike Campbell reached out with one hand and simply flipped Danny Barrett to the turf. We talked at the start of our telecast about how Mike Campbell has emerged as a defensive stalwart for the Argos this year. It was never more evident or apparent than on this play. With one hand, he grabbed him by the shoulder pad and pulled him down. Jerry Corrick certainly wants to improve upon his previous kick. It only traveled 5 yards, and this one is better. It bounces to the Rocket at the 5. He gets a bit of a hold out of the outside. Look out! He loses the football. Calgary recovers. A 68-yard return goes for naught. Darrell Hall hit the Rocket as he cut back when he found access to the outside, closed off by the kicker, Jerry Corrick. And the ball came loose, and Paul Clatney recovered after that brilliant 68-yard return. 1st and 10 Calgary. The Stampeders at their own 36. Barrett's pass is complete, and Sean Beals is stopped immediately at the 40-yard line by Don Wilson. 2:10 remaining in the first half. On second down, Barrett's pass is complete again. The ball comes loose, but it was ruled that he never had total control. Third down punt, bounces to the Rocket. Waiting for it to bounce back towards the line of scrimmage. There's a penalty flag on the play again, but it may have been thrown against Jerry Corrick. Scott?
Okay, thanks, John. It's wonderful. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the game. Thanks for a great season. Thank you.
Pass intended for David Williams, incomplete. Tucker had coverage on him.
Oh, he's a tough competitor, but that's a lot of hits.
Dunnigan's pass intended for Williams, underthrown. 1:35 remaining in the first half. 11-10. The Argos lead the Stampeders in the 79th Grey Cup game. Errol Tucker is the man trying to return for Calgary, and he's caught by Bruce Elliott back at the 23-yard line. He's the oldest player in the Canadian Football League at 38, but he has indicated that he would like to come back again next year. Sideline pattern intended for Carl Bland, knocked down by Ed Berry. It will be 2nd and 10. Stampeders with a veteran offensive line. Fairbanks is the oldest at 38, but they average over 32 years of age. Danny Barrett running, trying to get the first down. He is stopped short, and the Stampeders are forced to kick it away. Memorable Grey Cup games, one of the most exciting ever played. Penalty flag on this third down punt. The Rocket fumbles the football. There's another penalty flag at the point where he was attempting to catch it. It would appear no yards is the call at that point against the Stampeders, but the initial flag was thrown at the line of scrimmage. That was only a 26-yard kick. Stampeders retain possession. 1:06 remaining. The clock does not start until the ball is snapped. Barrett putting it in the air. And he was looking for Alan Pitts, who was being covered by Don Wilson, and the two of them exchange words. It will be 2nd and 10. 2nd and 10. Draw play. Keevan Jenkins, and Jenkins is stopped at the 41 with 54 seconds remaining in the half. Every other team in the Canadian Football League has appeared in at least 3 Grey Cup games and won at least 1. This is Calgary's first appearance since then. The Rocket trying to get to the outside, but good coverage on special teams with Alondra Johnson finishing the job. Both kickers will be below their seasonal average in this afternoon's Grey Cup game. Matt Dunnigan can't find a receiver, runs the ball out to the 27-yard line with 33 seconds remaining on the clock. Something Wally Buono does is rotate those 4 defensive linemen. He likes to swing Zizakovic in there to spell some of them off, and he moves them around.
Where's your favorite?
The Rocket loses the football. Who's got it? The Argos retain possession.
Wally Buono, being a former punter, he knows, make those guys punt.
Errol Tucker, the lone man back for the third down kick. He takes it at the 45-yard line and then is forced out of bounds. This is the final play of the first half, and Danny Barrett simply drops to one knee to take that final second off the clock as the Calgary Stampeders, under the direction of Coach Wally Buono, head to the dressing room, trailing the Toronto Argonauts by a point. Mark McLaughlin preparing to kick off, and the second half is underway. The Rocket gets a couple of key blocks. And unlike his previous big return, he hangs on to the football before being stopped by Alondra Johnson, but he takes the ball all the way to the Calgary 35. Matt Dunnigan gets some protection, throws for Darrell K. Smith at the 30-yard line, and he makes the catch. Calgary has passed 22 times, the Argos 15 times. Matt Dunnigan starting the second half with more success than he enjoyed in the first half in hitting his receivers as he throws to David Williams for a Toronto first down. The Argos have thrown equally to the wide receivers and the slot backs, and Dunnigan looks to the end zone for a wide receiver, David Williams. He was running with Errol Tucker, and Dunnigan's throw was just a little too far for him. It will be 2nd and 10. Second down pass. Dunnigan is hit from behind, the ball into the arms of Tim Cofield. Will Johnson hit Dunnigan from behind, and the ball bounced directly into the arms of Tim Cofield. The Stampeders take over 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Danny Barrett throws the screen over the middle to Keevan Jenkins, but there were 3 Argos in the vicinity, and they stopped the play after a pickup of about 4 yards.
I think that's a little deceiving pass distribution because Sapunjas has been a back in there.
Barrett looking deep. Pitts is open.
That's their bread and butter. Get that ball to Alan Pitts.
Toss to Keevan Jenkins. He cuts it to the 40-yard line, but we may see more and more of number 23. This time Barrett throws over the middle for a 1st down for 11-10. Toronto leading Calgary. 1st and 10 Calgary, the ball at the 35-yard line. Barrett with good protection looks to the sidelines, and he overthrows Carl Bland. 3 receivers wide to the right. Barrett rolls to his right. He had to dump it off. He had Brian Warren in his face, and just as he threw, Brian Warren brought him down. So the Toronto Argonauts defensively come up with a couple of key plays. Mark McLaughlin will be attempting a 42-yard field goal. His previous field goal was a 37-yarder. He was born in Liverpool, grew up in Winnipeg, played his high school football here, and the kick is wide. Carl Brazeley will concede a single point. 9:36 remains in the 3rd quarter, and this game is tied at 11.
What do you think about the weather here today?
It's definitely brisk, but it's great football weather.
Don, back up to the booth.
I have to disagree with Martin. I don't think it's so great for football. Maybe for ice hockey or Winter Olympics or something like that, but it's just a little too brisk for football today. On 2nd down, Dunnigan looking for a receiver, being pursued, gets away from Finlay, and Dunnigan tried to stay in bounds to pick up the 1st down, but he's going to be stopped short by Darrell Hall. Errol Tucker and Pee Wee Smith are back for Hank Olisic's 3rd down kick. Pee Wee Smith takes it at the 32. And he is stopped as he gets to the 43 by Jim Kardash.
You know, they all got their fingers crossed. Don.
Well, the Calgary Stampeders trailed early, but they've been fighting back, and they have been much more effective offensively. And it's another Barrett to Alan Pitts pass, producing a 1st down at the 50-yard line. Ball is at the 50 of the Argos. Backside pressure from Moan. The pass complete to Carl Bland. Stopped by Don Wilson at the 21 with 7:24 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Barrett was waving Pitts downfield, but Pitts could not escape the coverage, and Darrell Ford made the tackle on the Calgary quarterback. Pass over the middle to Keevan Jenkins. He is wrapped up immediately at the 21 again by Darrell Ford, the player who led the CFL in tackles this season. What a job Danny Barrett has been doing under these cold conditions. He has passed for 218 yards. Matt Dunnigan, with all the offensive weapons that he has to work with, has only been able to pick up 49 passing yards. McLaughlin will attempt a 27-yard field goal. It's up. It's good. 5:35 remaining in the 3rd quarter. 14-11. Calgary leading the exact score after 3 quarters in 1971. And, of course, that was also the final score. Pinball on the sidelines gets a couple of key blocks. And he brings the ball back to the 37.
And I have a scrapbook that goes back to 1956 of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, which is remarkable because that's before I was born. That qualifier surprise him, does it not, Bruce, to be a CFL owner? You look great with the jacket open, too, Bruce. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, it'll be cool, you know? Thanks. Okay, Scott.
On 2nd and 11, Dunnigan overthrows David Williams in the end zone. 44-yard field goal try by Lance Chomick. If successful, the score would again be tied. It's wide. It goes for a single point. 4:12 remains in the third quarter. Just 2 points separate the Stamps and the Argos. And members of the forces, the Snowbirds, were part of the opening ceremonies, led by Major Bob Steffen. And they are now on the sidelines and watching the action from field level. Stopped by Rodney Harding. Penalty flag on 2nd down, over the middle for Pee Wee Smith. He can't hang on. A procedure call against Calgary. The penalty will be declined by the Argos as the pass fell incomplete.
Legal procedure, Calgary 66, declined.
14-12. The Stampeders lead the Argos. The Rocket and the Pinball are both back for Jerry Corrick's 3rd down kick. The Rocket takes it. Carl Anthony was in too close. A penalty flag thrown immediately. He was only a couple of yards away from the Rocket, so the Argo field position will improve considerably. 3:09 with the clock running and winding down in the third quarter. Dunnigan fakes inside, steps up, throws deep for Darrell Smith. He's got a touchdown. Well, if there was any concern about Dunnigan's ability to put some zip in the football, he certainly disproved them right there with a 47-yard pass to Darrell K. Smith, and he rifled that one down the seam.
Well, that's that same thing we talked about, the pump fake, then put it right down the middle. We said Matt Dunnigan looked better the second half. He had a little more zip on the ball. I don't know what they did at halftime. Maybe he got hypnotized, but he came back out in this quarter, and he looks like he can zing that football. Darrell K. wide open. Everyone talks about Matt Dunnigan's injuries and how many games he hasn't played, but hey, when he has played, he's been 6-2 this year.
Pee Wee Smith moves up to take the ball at the 26-yard line. He ran into a couple of his own people as he's brought down at the 47. Giving him some good study habits, teaching him to be patient. Barrett's pass, as he attempted to go to the sidelines, knocked down. That's something a back has to do. Make sure that that man rushing can't get his hands up to prevent the quarterback from getting the pass away. It was intended for Alan Pitts. Incomplete. As we see Mike Campbell being prevented from getting to the quarterback by Ken Moore. Pinball takes the Jerry Corrick punt on the dead run, and he is stopped as he gets to the 47-yard line, and then a couple of players come in late into the pile. Wherever you're looking in on the CBC television network, we hope you're enjoying the action. Matt Dunnigan throwing over the middle to the Pinball. This will be about 1.5 yards, maybe 2 short of the first down as he's stopped by Ken Watson.
Let's throw that football.
Kevin Smelly on 2nd down gets to the 50 of the Stampeders. He has a Toronto first down. Toronto leading Calgary. On 1st down, Dunnigan trying to set up the screen with the Pinball. Dunnigan was under a little heat, a little pressure, and he had to try and dump it off, and the Pinball couldn't make the catch. Back to the live action. Dunnigan throwing deep again for David Williams. Incomplete. He was covered by Errol Tucker.
But that coverage was excellent by Calgary.
3rd down kick by Hank Olisic with 15 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Pee Wee waits for it, and then he's caught by Bruce Elliott. The first man downfield, and a man who has excelled on Argo special teams this year, and he makes the tackle at the 15-yard line. Well, I'm glad to see that Bruce McNall has at least put on a toque. He had his coat wide open a little earlier, but he is now wearing a toque, and Danny Barrett goes down in the grasp of several, including Rodney Harding, and that's the final play of the third quarter.
La SADC est une société fédérale qui s'engage à protéger votre argent lorsque vous le déposez dans l'une de nos institutions membres. Recherchez notre logo, peu importe comment vous faites vos dépôts. SADC. Voyez comment on protège votre argent.
As we start the fourth quarter at Winnipeg Stadium, 2nd and 16 for the Calgary Stampeders. Danny Barrett remains in at quarterback, throwing for Alan Pitts. It's intercepted. Reggie Pleasant, who plays the right corner, picks it off. Ed Barry opened the game, picking one off on the left side. Pleasant brings this one back to the 12-yard line. The second time today that Danny Barrett has been intercepted, a 27-yard return by Reggie Pleasant. The Argos now with a tremendous opportunity to really take control of the football game. They are 1st and 10 from the Calgary 12-yard line. Flanagan throws to the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for Darrell K. Smith, talking with Gilbert Renfro and Steve Taylor, the backup quarterbacks. On 2nd down, Paul Massotti, end zone. Has he got it? No, he could not control the ball as he came down. Watson was defending against Massotti, the two of them battling in the air for the football, and Massotti could not control it as he came down. It's Chomik with a 19-yard field goal attempt. It's good. As the Argos improve their advantage to 8 points with 13:47 remaining in the 4th quarter. Today, the Stampeders have a statistical edge, but they trail by 8. Keevan Jenkins on this kickoff return. Pretty good field position for the next offensive series, lugging it back 31 yards to the 52. Jim Rockford into the ball game now with Reg Pleasant injured. Dave Van Bellingham also in the ball game as the Argos go with a 6 defensive back package. It was intended on the far side for Pee Wee Smith. It falls incomplete. On 2nd down, Danny Barrett looking to the sidelines again. This time he finds Carl Bland, and Bland gets to the 50 of the Argos, but he is about 2 yards shy of a 1st down. On 3rd down, Jerry Korick had a little difficulty handling that snap from center, but gets away his best kick of the ball game, chasing the Rocket back to the 12, and with 4 Stampeders in his face, he steps out of bounds at McMahon Stadium in Calgary when Wicklam's hit on the Rocket resulted in a concussion. So the Argos are back at their own 6-yard line. Deep throw for the Rocket, and he can't catch up with it. 2nd and 10 from the 6-yard line. Dunnigan in trouble. He decides to run. He is going to be 2 yards shy. Maybe only 1 of a 1st down. Alisic has already won 6 Grey Cups. He'd like to make it 7 in this 1991 season. Not a good kick by Alisic. It goes out of bounds at the 32-yard line. 1st and 10. The ball at the 31 of the Argos. 11:19 remaining in the game. Danny Barrett back to throw. Sapunjas has got it. A gain of 18 for Dave Sapunjas. It's Calgary 1st and 10. Ball is at the 12. Barrett looks to the corner. Pitts, touchdown! And Itzy is indeed running. Caroline Jones, and the horse that gallops up and down the sidelines at McMahon Stadium to celebrate every Calgary touchdown. In action here at Winnipeg Stadium as Alan Pitts takes the throw into the end zone. He sometimes is the forgotten man in the Calgary passing scheme. The Rocket looks for a hole. If he gets to the outside this time, he's gone.
Goodbye.
The Rocket delivers. The $1 million man provides cause for celebration among the Toronto Argonaut owners. An 87-yard kickoff return. Once he got outside of Junior Thurman, there is no way Mark McLaughlin was going to catch him.
The thing that the Rocket will do is he'll see the seam, and when he sees a seam, I mean, it is over. I mean, he takes that seam and puts on the afterburners. There's nobody that can catch him. I mean, you can't catch the Rocket with a kicker.
The Argos respond quickly to the Calgary touchdown. 87 yards for the Rocket. And with the job he has done this afternoon, he's another candidate for one of those awards that will be presented. That is a Grey Cup record, the longest kickoff return ever, 87 yards, the length of his run back. 29-21, 10:26 remaining. Ball was touched by the Stampeders, recovered by Keith Costello. Keevan Jenkins came racing up on the kickoff, looking as though he was going to field the ball, but it touched him. And Keith Costello was there to grab it. Incomplete, intended for the pinball. He was being covered by Matt Finlay. It will be 2nd and 10. And, of course, 2 interceptions. They were a +20 in the giveaway takeaway category this season. Deep throw. Touchdown, Masadi! Masadi jumped up and hauled the ball in front of Ken Watson. Both Masadi and Darrell K. Smith were down at the goal line, and Masadi went up to haul it in. And the Toronto Argonauts, very quickly after the Stampeders moved within a single point, have now taken a 15-point lead. 9:41 is the time remaining in this 79th edition of the Grey Cup game. With only 7 first downs, the Argos only have 7 first downs so far in this game. Pee-wee Smith tackled by J.P. Esquerdo. 2 touchdowns within 45 seconds. David Sapunjas on the reverse. The Statue of Liberty play gets a first down, Calgary. Back to the live action. Darryl Ford knocked down the pass. Danny Barrett, pass is complete for a first down at the 50-yard line. Pass is complete to Alan Pitts. He was tackled immediately at the 45-yard line by Carl Brazeley.
Another kickoff return team has given up some big plays.
Bland on the receiving end of another throw, and another Calgary first down with Reggie Pleasant stopping him, but not before he got to the 30.
There's Carl Bland pushing off. He gets Reggie Pleasant back, and then he comes back for the football.
The Stampeders have certainly, as Joe pointed out, displayed the ability this season to come from behind. They did it in their semifinal win over the BC Lions, and again in the dramatic Western final against the Edmonton Eskimos. Carl Bland has been a favorite target on this drive. He takes it out of bounds. 7:12, the time remaining in the game. Barrett's pass knocked down at the line of scrimmage, and Brian Warren thought he was going to pick that ball off as it hung up in the frigid Manitoba weather. 3rd and a yard. Keevan Jenkins inside the 15. 1st and 10. Complete. And Bland again inside the 5, close to another first down. Barrett keeps, and he has a first down, so the Stampeders will have 3 cracks at putting it in the end zone. Ball is at the Toronto 2-yard line. Danny Barrett has to throw this one away. He was under tremendous pressure. Now the short yardage offense comes out for Calgary. Barrett fakes, he's under pressure. Campbell and Gaines came through, and Gaines got to him. 4:57 remaining. Remember, they have to put it in the end zone. Incomplete. Intended for Sapunjas, and the Toronto Argonauts will take over as the Stampeders lose the ball on downs. He's had surgery on his ankle 5 times, and doctors have indicated that if he continues to play, he could become crippled by the time he's 40. 3:52, the time remaining. Matt Dunnigan on 2nd down, pumps, throws deep down the sidelines for the Rocket, incomplete. Covered by Junior Thurman. Some of the Argos come off the bench to complain to the official that the Rocket was interfered with, but there is no flag. The Toronto Argonauts lead 36-21 as Hank Olisic stands in the end zone. Calgary will get pretty good field position. Pee-wee Smith lets the ball bounce. Thought he might trap someone within that 5-yard area, but the Argos wisely stayed back. Barrett to Carl Bland. That's been a great combination for the Calgary Stampeders in the 4th quarter. Danny Barrett has put the ball in the air 47 times today. That's just one shy of the Grey Cup record set by Jack Jacobs with Winnipeg in 1953. And that's the pass to Pee Wee Smith that will equal the Jack Jacobs record. Ed Berry grabbed him, and then Campbell came over to knock him out of bounds. Barrett tackled by Rodney Harding back at the 45-yard line. 2nd and 20, Calgary. Barrett steps away from the pressure, throws along the sidelines, and overthrows Sean Beals. So it will be 3rd and 20. This might be the final opportunity for the Calgary Stampeders to pull this one out. They're looking at 3rd and 20 from the 45-yard line. 2:20 is the time remaining in the game. Over the middle to Sean Beals. He's short of the first down. As he made the catch, it appeared as though he lost his footing, and he came down short of the first down.
His second child.
The ball is loose. Who's got it? The Argos have recovered. Originally designed to be presented as an amateur hockey trophy. Some might say that's appropriate on a day such as today. The Grey Cup wound up being presented for the football championship in this country. Matt Dunnigan runs with the ball, and Matt Dunnigan is brought down at the 37-yard line. Hank Olisic's 3rd down punt. Taken by Errol Tucker, nowhere to go. Adam Rita's son Kevin, who is a wide receiver at Boise State, is watching today's game via satellite. Adam asked us to say hello. 1:03 remaining in the game. Danny Barrett's pass drilled over the middle for a first down to Sean Beals at the 44 with 59 seconds remaining. It looks as though there's going to be a rather lively celebration taking place there in about 55 seconds. Barrett's pass over the middle, first down to Sapunjas at the 24.
Darrell K. Smith, the guy that always comes through with some big plays, he was there to get them the lead.
Barrett to Pee Wee Smith.
Just the 2 bombs, really, from the Toronto side of the ball.
Wide open in the end zone, Alan Pitts. He can't haul it in. 3rd and 4, Calgary. Barrett complete to Simeon, and he should have the first down. He is stopped at about the 13-yard line by Don Wilson. Stampeders trailing by 15. Barrett looks to the end zone. It is intercepted. Reggie Pleasant with the 3rd Toronto interception of the football game, and that will guarantee a Toronto Argonaut Grey Cup triumph with just 13 seconds remaining. Wally Buono and Larry Rickman, the coach and the owner, watching the final seconds tick off, and they may have some problems trying to present the Grey Cup on the field here at Winnipeg Stadium as fans are coming out of the stands onto the field. A great year for the Toronto Argonauts. The purchase of the team by the Bruce McNall Group, Wayne Gretzky and John Candy, the other 2 partners who purchased the football team, the signing of the Rocket, and culminated today in the winning of the Grey Cup. A tremendous performance by the Toronto Argonauts.